Vegetable Greenhouse Overview. This module was developed by Dr. Thierry Kubota and Dr. Robin Brumfield. The contents of this presentation include acreage, crop species, and values of vegetable grown in greenhouse, crop scheduling, market channels and outlets, types of greenhouse used for vegetable crops, such as greenhouses, high tunnels, growing systems used in greenhouse, cultivation in soil, cultivation without soil, organic cultivation. And then lastly, we want to briefly cover emerging applications such as urban horticulture food production. So as you all know, open field production is a major means of vegetable production in the US. We have a few pictures presenting these production. Upper left is melon production in Arizona. This is a scene of harvesting melons in a field. Lower left is a baby spinach production also in Arizona. And upper right is a bell pepper production in Florida. This is also the scene of harvesting. And lower right is the strawberry production in California. To success in open field production, key technologies include irrigation, fertilization, weed management, pest and disease control. And production is, as you know, largely affected by weather conditions and unexpected weather, such as too much rain or too little rain or too high temperature or too low temperature. That kind of unexpected weather or prolonged incidents of unexpected weather could cause a significant damage to the crop production in open fields. Greenhouse is another means to grow vegetables and fruits. Here is the list of US vegetables and fruits coming from greenhouses. In this table, I have cucumber, herbs, lettuce, peppers, strawberries, tomatoes are listed, and then the total area is about 900 hectares, which is about 2,200 acres. Tomato is the major crop, accounting for 68% of the total production area, and followed by cucumber, which is 56 hectares out of 900. So this is already less than 10%. So the majority of greenhouse production is toward tomatoes. And then another interesting aspect of US greenhouse vegetable production is that out of that 600 or so hectare of tomato, 94% of production is coming out of hydroponics or some sort of soilless culture systems. And then same thing is going on for cucumbers. 91%, 92% of cucumber production utilize hydroponics or soilless culture. Let's talk about crop production schedule. This is an example of lettuce leaf or leafy lettuce harvest in greenhouse compared to open field. So greenhouse, if you have appropriate technology and appropriate systems, you can technically harvest every week throughout the year. We call year-round production. And in open fields, productions are pretty much limited. For example, Arizona and southern desert California, the production is pretty much toward mid-winter and the beginning of the winter. On the other hand, Central Coast California, the production is spring, summer, and fall. But by combining those multiple production areas, shipper or growers can produce and ship lettuce crop throughout the year, But if you are greenhouse, you can produce lettuce crop year round. And lower table here is showing actual greenhouse area used for lettuce crop, which is 27 hectare, which is a lot lower than open field production. But productivity of the greenhouse is many more than open field because you can create so many crops, so many production cycles from the same surface area of greenhouse. This is a similar chart comparing harvesting seasons of tomato by region and production system, such as greenhouse and open field. This chart includes Mexico and Canada in addition to US, as they take significant role in US fresh tomato market. Just like you saw in the lettuce chart in the previous slide, production seasons of open field are different for different regions. For example, Florida production starts in October all the way to June, versus California on top of the table starting May to November. So by combining those, shippers or growers can produce tomatoes year round or distribute tomatoes year round. In contrast, just like lettuce example, U.S. greenhouses technically able to produce tomatoes year-round. Same thing happening in Mexico, such as Baja or Sonora. So earlier in this presentation, you learned that tomato accounts for largest area of greenhouse production in the U.S. However, it's still very small area compared to open field. Look at that production area, 606 hectare, and open field total is 43,000 hectares. That means only 1.5%. However, if you take a look at production, the ratio, so the greenhouse productivity is about 20% of what open field do as a total. This means that productivity of greenhouse, the tomato fruit production per acre is many more times greater than that in open field. So is greenhouse such a minority in U.S. agriculture? Or what is the status of greenhouse in U.S. agriculture? So this pie chart is showing the allocation of greenhouse area for different crops. As you can see, annual bedding plants, 28.8%, potted plants, 24.3%. So these floricultural or ornamental crop production is the major players of U.S. greenhouse production. What about vegetables and fruits? Vegetables and fruits are in this small portion, 14.2. So probably less than 10% are allocated for vegetables and fruits. And this trend is very unique compared to other countries, such as Mexico having 66% of greenhouse area for fruit and vegetables, 88% in Spain, 95% greenhouse area for vegetable and fruit production in Turkey, 40% in Holland or Netherlands, 74% in China, and 70% in Japan. And these countries are having huge area of greenhouse. So where you can find greenhouse produce? If you go to retail stores, supermarkets, you can find greenhouse tomato for sure. And then nowadays, you can expect about 40% of tomatoes you can find in retail stores in US are coming from greenhouses. This ratio is actually much higher than actual production ratio of greenhouse versus open field. This is because retail stores generally prefer greenhouse products over open field products whenever available, mainly because of the high quality and then also consistent quality of the products. Small growers' market channels are community support agriculture or farmers market or restaurants or local retails. In both cases, either you are a large enterprise or small grower, the trend is that direct marketing to maximize the revenue return to the grower. We will have a different module describing different technology levels utilized in greenhouse, but briefly there are low-tech greenhouse, including high tunnels, and high-tech greenhouse, as you can see on your right, glass-covered tall greenhouse facilities used for high-wire tomato production. And as you can easily imagine, the capital level necessary for high-tech is many, many times more than low-tech greenhouse. High tunnels are becoming very popular now for local food production, and then it is a system employing passive environmental control. So you have a certain limitation in terms of environments you can achieve in high tunnels. But if it is wisely designed and utilized, you can improve the productivity and quality of your produce. For that reason, nowadays for raspberry, in California, in only one state, there are 4,400 acres of high tunnels used for raspberry production. And then, of course, there is a driving force for moving people into more high tunnel production. The growing interest toward local production, and then also the government support, such as National High Tunnel Pilot Program, funding about 200 acres of high tunnels every year. In one of the previous slides, you learned that significant portion of greenhouse crop production is actually hydroponics or substrate culture. So soilless culture with substrates utilize several kinds of substrates, and growers pick and choose the most workable substrates that works the best for their crops. Examples are rock wool, coconut coir, volcanic rocks, and other substrates. Rock wool has some issue of recycling, therefore more people are now using coconut coir as alternative substrate for soilless culture. And hydroponics technically do not require any substrates. For example, NFT system on your right hand side or DFT system at the bottom really don't require any substrates. And aeroponics is another example of growing plants without substrate. Another interesting area of greenhouse vegetable production is organic cultivation. Organic growing area is still small segment of total vegetable production area. Compared to total production, for example, tomato, 43,000 hectare. The organic production area is only 3,600 hectares. So the ratio is less than 10%. The same thing for lettuce. So organic cultivation is becoming very popular and almost established a significant status in U.S. market of vegetables and fruits. But the percentage, actual percentage, is very small. And then at the same time, we see the increasing interest in organic hydroponics. And then in fact, in Arizona, there is a new greenhouse, commercial greenhouse operating south of Tucson, producing tomatoes organically using hydroponic system. Another interesting application is urban agriculture. The pictures showing rooftop greenhouse in Manhattan area. And then also indoor production. This particular one is designed in an airport, providing veggies for airport restaurants. This kind of indoor production is very popular in Asian countries like Taiwan, Japan, and China. And they call this kind of production system plant factory because a factory type plant and vegetable production. Picture on your left is a large American chain sandwich restaurant in Midtown Tokyo, and showing the demonstration production facility in front of customers eating sandwiches. And then right hand side is a commercial production of lettuce. I think this production facility is capable to produce thousands of heads per day. And there are similar projects going on in US also. And the uniqueness of this type of production is that anyone can utilize this technology because its production system is pretty much standardized. And then also you can grow veggies anywhere, anytime. This niche production sector may develop further in the future.